I was going to do something controversial for this show, but I think this is more important. Welcome to the Drunk Linux User. I'm Len. I'm the Drunk Linux User. I'm your straight talking Linux friend, helping you wade through all this mysticism behind the use of Linux. And I want to say I didn't even notice, but I've got over 100 videos up now on my channel, so good for me. And if you're a Linux creative, please send me an email with your link and I'll put it up on my website so that you can showcase your work. I'm not going to host your stuff, but I will link to it. So if you've got something up on, say, iTunes or DeviantArt or wherever you've got your books maybe stored up on Amazon, send me that link. And if you want to find out how, watch this video up over here called Time to Shine. And it's only about 6 minutes or so, and I'll get that information up for you. And we want to make sure that all these creative Linux types have a chance to be able to show off. That's your time to shine. So, if you like what you see here, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, make a comment or two, whatever you want, or don't. Buy me a beer. Hey, I've got a link on my website for that. There's also something here on the YouTube notes, I think, be able to do that as well. You don't have to subscribe to anything to do this. If you want to make a, even a $1 payment, just anything to help. There's that annual server and domain name charge and all that crap. So if you want to help out, that's a great way. And maybe I'll just save up and buy a better camera, huh? All right, let's get started. So today I was looking through some of the websites that I normally peruse before I start the show. And I had spoken before about how there are people who have this very firm belief that Linux is impenetrable and other people are scared of it because they don't understand it. And that's perfectly valid because there's a lot of disinformation that goes on out there. And I don't use that term very often, but I'm going to this time. When it comes to Linux, there's this thought that it's impregnable. You can't break it. And that's not entirely true. But when you run across something like this, which is a kind of a bit of clickbait, and I'm just going to go to the article right now so that you can see what I'm talking about. TechRadar has put up, Linux systems are being hit with more ransomware than ever. And that kind of makes Linux sound like it's under a big threat. Targeted ransomware attacks are becoming more common as an increasing number of businesses adopt Linux systems. Overall, it says 63 billion threats were blocked by the company's systems in the first half of 2022 alone, which Trend Micro says represents a significant 52% increase compared with the same period in 2021. In an effort to fight off unwelcome attacks, companies are combining multiple malware tools to ensure that they cover all bases. However, Trend Micro's concern is that threat actors are able to weaponize these flaws faster than vendors can release patches. You know what? That happens in Windows. That happens in Mac. That happens in the world. So this is very disingenuous. And later on, they say Clay urged companies to obtain a better understanding of their risks and to continue investing in services such as endpoint protection on their typically expanding digital attack surfaces. Well, what do you think IT departments are for? If you've got a large corporation and you're running a Linux server, I think you probably have a security team working on making sure that you're not getting attacked. And I don't think there's just a bunch of people sitting around eating Doritos and swilling down Mountain Dew, just soaking up a paycheck, doing nothing. And if they are, well, they need to be fired and you need to be hiring some new people in. But you don't hear this kind of stuff going on with things like, when's the last time you heard that Google got hit by ransomware, or Apple, or a number of these companies? We're talking about servers here. We're not talking about desktops. And the reason that I'm bringing this up is that this article was brought up in the subreddit for Linux, and there were some really great great responses to this article, but I'm going to highlight just a couple of them. One person says, I'd say, yeah, maybe, probably would want better sources. Also, the article links to a bunch of affiliate links from TechRadar at the bottom. Get there in just a moment. Trend of Linux getting more popular means it's going to be a larger attack vector, blah, 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 blah. Still, tremendously safer than Windows or Mac OS. If you want to be really secure, pen and paper, cabin in the woods, multiple firearms, booby traps, OpenBSD, air-gapped even though there's no people for 500 miles. Next person says, you forgot the Faraday cage. Well, yeah, I mean, that's real. If you're really, really, really worried about security, I mean, for your Linux home system, that's fine. But that's not what this article starts off saying. It says Linux systems, which makes you think Linux worldwide, desktop, anything. Now, I have spoken about the fact that I am not too thrilled about Internet of Things because I really don't think the security is up on that just at this time. But this is very disingenuous in my humble opinion. Okay. So here's a great response right down here. Is your laptop a server? Is your desktop a server? Are you using your laptop to serve a service to another computer? Okay, if not, don't worry. Updates, firewall, and not clicking on jank on the web will make you pretty damn secure. Truth, okay? There's another down at the bottom here. It says, the article is making a mistake. The title should be, corporate systems are being hit with more ransomware. They've specified this in the article body, but produce a title meant to skew attitudes. Of course, corporate Linux systems are going to be hit more. All corporate are hit more. There we go. There's another truth. And that makes me feel like this was, oh, dare I say it, clickbait. Kind of makes me a little edgy if you haven't noticed already. So the corporate or the affiliate links that they're talking about are here. If you scroll down and take a look at what they're talking about, not all, but almost all of these protection services are for Windows, or maybe even for Mac. Yes, there are some versions available for some of the software for Linux, but again, pardon the pun, but apples and oranges, folks, okay? If you're going to be talking about Linux and security systems, don't toss up Windows antivirus software. This doesn't make sense. So, take a breath. Feel good that I have over 100 videos up now on YouTube. I've also put up a Facebook page. I'll link to that in the description as well. But you see stuff like this, you really have to kind of dig into the meat of the matter to find out what exactly are they talking about, and if somebody is intentionally misleading by a headline, or they're not giving you all the facts. For example, it talks about how much of an increase. What are they getting hit with? What kind of, how many of these companies that were attacked or actually succumbed to the ransomware? And there's none of that. There's none of that. So if you're seeing something that is so completely nebulous as this particular article was, be careful. Don't take it as fact. If you're really that concerned, start looking into it more. But for goodness sakes, just if you have questions, ask. Okay, there are message boards and forums and all kinds of things that you can get your information from to find out, is this true? So don't let things like this get to you, all right? So let's leave this with our words of wisdom. Don't drive drunk. Don't drink and drive. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. Gee, I wonder where I heard that before. Don't go to eBay, Amazon, or use MSN Shopping all buzzed up thinking you're going to buy the latest, greatest, and coolest stuff, because you're probably not. In the meantime, bottoms up. Later, dudes.